Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Hello, Lorna Williams. Thank you so much for being here first. Um, is this an old story? Huh, okay. Oh, yeah, that must be old. As you know, sometimes I just go through the Twitter. Um, oh, do you mean to tell me that Bed Knobs and Broomstick's sister also had a photo, um, a topless photo? This is the first that I've ever seen that. Oh, this must have been a while ago. And my goodness. And who is that with his hands around her waist? I'm trying to figure out, why is Pippa trending today? This is so odd. Pippa never trends, except for that time when people thought they saw a behind. Except for that time when people thought they saw a behind. She never trends. That is so weird. That's why I'm trying to figure out, why is she trending on Twitter. But oh well, I won't bother with it. Anyway, thank you all for being here. I had to run some errands today, but I'm here. Let me see here. Miranda Rios, Juliet Holder Fowler, Carol Lunn, Brenda Lawler, and S is here. Mary H, Fancy Fancy, Lucy Wynn, uh, okay, Maggie Howell, Black Queen, Naomi Maria, Carol Lunn, yes, I said that right. Annie Bullard. Okay, so I'm just going to go all the way down to the very last person to enter. Um, okay, last one here is Shay. Thank you so much. Connie Bowmer! Hey, Connie Bowmer. I am so sorry I got you up so late. I hope I don't. I hope you're working a shift or something. But if I am keeping you up late, I'm so sorry. And Elaine Park, if you're here and you're up late, and a few other people, I get it. But thank you. I appreciate it. So, Poe Kitty. Not poor, but Poe. You know you bad off when you are so bad off. Instead of somebody saying poor, they say Poe. Poe Kitty. Oh, MR, thank you so much for the actually, for the Cash App. Thank you so much for that. Yep, I mean to tell you, Kate is doing poorly. They need to bring in some image consultants, and I do mean some real image consultants, because if I didn't know better, I would say that somebody is flexing on her. Somebody who holds the title of Queen Consort, even though they told us to drop the consort. It seems like somebody may have been calling in a few favors. Hello, is this the Daily Mail? Senior Royal here. No, I'm not a sir, I'm a ma'am. Senior, and it's Your Majesty. Senior Royal here. Yes, somebody, and I'm not saying it was Camilla, that was all for the sake of parody, but somebody, oh, thank you so much for telling me that, Connie Balmer. I feel better. But somebody is putting a whammy on her. Now, it could be maybe Church Nellie with one of her dolls, maybe not. But anyway, thank you so much, Elaine Parker. I'll show you the reason why I say things are going downhill for her. Let me go to the next slide and say happy Flag Day to you guys and ladies. Happy Flag Day. Remember, we are one nation, indivisible, and that includes Harry and Archie and Lily and of course Doria, and the moment, we just call her the moment, Meghan, the moment. So yeah, today is Flag Day. So I have to tell you, there has been a many a times when I have left the country and I have gone someplace abroad, and it's something about being back home, and yes, even seeing the old stars and stripes that kind of warms my heart. And coming from a family of veterans, it 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 doubly has resonance with me that that flag is still there. That flag is still there. Where have I heard that from? Anyway, I don't know where I heard that flag is still there, but long may she wave. Oh man! So take a look here. A reliable source, if there's ever been one, has been Royal Suitor, right? Or, as Barbara Walters would say, Royal Wooter. Barbara Walters would say, Royal Wooter, when contacted by Metwix on Woon 14th, a WEP for Wepniks said, I got to stop doing that. Barbara Walters has made her transition, so I'm not going to do my Barbara Walters impersonation today. Okay, okay. I'm gonna swap it. Yeah, don't worry, Whack Wayne. I'm gonna swap it. So no more Baba Wawa impersonations. Oh wait, oh wait. Anyway, so a representative for Netflix said that the info in the January announcement was still correct and accurate. Therefore, viewers can expect Heart of Invictus to hit the screens, that is, in the coming months. Although Netflix has yet to announce an exact date. So that is from the Royal Suitor. And as you can see there, it says Heart of Invictus, summer 2023. That was the announcement. This new series from Archwell Productions follows a group of extraordinary competitors from around the globe, all service members who have suffered life changing injuries or illnesses on their road to competing at the Invictus Games. Yeah, and remember, some of those injuries are very invisible because, as you know, challenges with one's mental health. Speaking of which, you guys, now I don't usually talk about things that I hear in spaces, except for in a very vague way. And one of the things that I heard today, which is why spaces um, is so cool, is because sometimes we really do need to remind one another. And someone pointed out that not only has Harry made quite a few, inroads to the United States military, a connection with them because of the Invictus Games, and of course, first and foremost, because of his record of service. We have a long tradition of honoring veterans of war. But let us not forget that I believe they said there was an app available for soldiers, and that the military community would be able to take advantage of Better Up. And I forgot all about that. And, but yeah, so when you hear someone, one of those delusional, creepy people that they keep bringing out on British television to talk about everything Harry and Meghan as though they're experts, even though that person only had a sit down interview with Harry for a very brief time, they seem to know everything there is to know about what they're thinking and feeling and what we can expect from them. And so they alluded one day to the fact that Harry, if he actually would work, if he was busy, or if he had something to do. And I distinctly remember some time ago when I was actually worried about Harry overextending himself because he was doing so much, and so his CV, or his resume, I think, is pretty full of accomplishments, greater than any that his brother has committed so far. It's true his brother has been in touch with the homeless movement, or to stop homeless movement, but he doesn't take such an active role. He's a patron that just shows up. Harry has a lot of these, power lunches. Harry is capable of doing a presentation. He's very competent rather, in what he does. So I have to say that when it comes to, by the way, thank you so much for the Cash App. I'm going to turn my ringer off. Let me see. SA, thank you so much for the Cash App, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. But yeah, I'll just leave the screen there, but I'll cut the ringer off or turn it down or something. I suppose you guys can't hear that, but thank you. Don't worry about interrupting us with something like that, though. Never worry about that. Um, you don't worry about that. I'll still see it. Um, it's all right. It's all right. So what was I saying? So yeah, um, Harry has done a lot. He's accomplished a lot, and for someone who is not the heir to the throne, someone who is like what, in fifth, sixth place from the big job, he has been keeping himself busy. Thank God he and Meghan found each other, because I tell you, Meghan was doing a lot of things before she met him. He was doing a lot of things before he met her, but um, he never had anyone to take an interest in him like Meghan has. I'm sure that there may have been a few people here and there, some of those minders that they left him with when he was younger. But then after a while, he was kind of cut adrift and on his own. And so thank God that Megan was able to present some options that perhaps he didn't think of, or he didn't know the way to it, or something like that. But what a power couple. So yeah. So here's a photo I didn't share with you yesterday. If you look on the right side, you can see Prince Harry in the, is that hoist for sit down volleyball? That is something. What is a hoist? A hoist? Is that a seat or something? I mean, I know you can lift up something with a hoist, but I don't know what that means. But that was on the photo already. In the hoist. Is that like old English or something? Is that Middle English, Middle Earth? I don't understand that word, the use of it there. Let me see. I don't think so, Baron. A lot of women have taken interest in Harry, including Kate. Oh, yeah, I see. Wink, wink. I get what you mean. I get what you mean. But Megan's, let's face it, though, Megan is a powerhouse. And, they used to have an old saying about the Clintons, and I forget how the joke goes, but the whole punchline of the joke was whoever Hillary Clinton married was going to be president of the United States. And, it's something about a woman that is intelligent, that is efficient, and admired, loved. It's something about that is a threat to people, that threatens some very, I suppose, conservative institutions, some very racist institutions. It's something about that is a threat. And people are so threatened by what, 110-pound Megan? I don't get what the threat is, but people are so threatened by her. And not just everyday people, but some very negative, nasty, conservative, right wing, alt right individuals that have decided to use her strength of character against her and make her a pawn in this culture war. That's what I think. But you know, it's something threatening about that. I recall the same thing with Michelle Obama, with Hillary Clinton. Any woman who has been very popular is a threat to the mainstream. But I think they use their popularity, and they hijack their their messages and such, and try to use that against them. And in some cases, it's not so much that they don't like the person, but they know that it's useful. Your character assassination is useful for their cause. So even though on television you might see a Nancy Pelosi being vilified by the right wing, but then there's a lot of people on the right that have been friends with her for years. And away from the cameras, in a lot of cases, they're still friends. But when it's time to do like the Sunday morning political shows, then they cannot express that friendship. So, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg was very good friends with whichever that justice was that died in his sleep. I forget his name. Was it Alito? No. Um, oh gosh, I forgot his name. But yeah, she was best of friends with him, even though they were on political opposite sides of the line. They were still best of friends. So very interesting dynamic there. Anastasia says, "Can anyone tell us if self love is narcissism?" I was arguing with someone who thinks that self love is actually narcissism. Um, all of us have narcissistic traits, and some people are just more narcissistic than others. But when someone is declared a narcissist, it's usually a woman, right? If it's a man, he's just driven and so sure of himself and all that. But if a woman has any pride in herself and is proud of her accomplishments, have worked hard, and is popular with people, then that's, of course, when they weaponize the word narcissism and use it against them. So, yeah, self love and narcissism, they do not go hand in hand. I mean, they can be in the same direction, but for very different reasons. I mean, there's self love for the sake of being your best self, or being, there for your family, self love, to be there for your community. And then there are people who everything is about them. And that, of course, describes a Pierce Morgan, uh, uh, Donald Trump, and so many other people, where they have, have had the, oh, sorry about that, where they seem to try to make everything about them. I don't know that, you know, that you could ever try to find anything like that and try to pin it on Megan. I just don't see that. People say that that's how it is, but you don't hear it from her. But from a lot of people that I just mentioned, is all you hear from them, and they're always. I mean, they're at the top of everything and always the victim. They're always the victim. And so, in order to keep a person that has been victimized from calling out someone, then of course they declare all you do is cry victim. Even if you are not even saying anything, even if you're not visible, you're being a victim. Just like they always say that Meghan and Harry are always preaching about the environment, and they're always on a private jet. First of all, I've never, ever, and I wish someone would find it and inbox me. Please show me where Meghan has said anything about the environment. Anything. Um, Health, well being, you know, empowering women. check, check, check. But the environment, I don't recall. Harry has not been very preachy about it. I believe Harry is mostly about sustainability and, of course, making the choice of how much do you want to impact the environment. I've never heard him say that, but it is a blanket statement that they use for anyone that they consider woke. Like, for instance, every so often the Daily Mail will print, I'm sorry, not print, but see what I get for making fun of Barbara Walters? They will print a list of celebrities, all of which are the ones they have declared woke and left wing. And they will say, oh, this person preaches the environment and flies a private jet, even if they have never said anything about the environment. It is a blanket statement that covers a lot of people who may or may not have ever said anything about the environment. And it will omit the names of the real offenders, like a Donald Trump who flies around on a Boeing 757. That's a commercial airliner that could hold at least 100 people, I believe. And there's just a handful of people on that every place he goes. And they don't mention it. I've never heard them mention his aircraft in a derogatory way. He's not president anymore. He doesn't need that big plane. So, but thank you, Anastasia. I think I drifted a bit there, but um, oh wow, a whole bunch of comments, and I'm missing everything. So anyway, I'm being a little stuck here. Let me keep it moving. In the meantime, or as they say, meantime, back at the Bat Cave. Hey, Charlotte. Bonsoir, Charlotte. Um, Thank you for being here. All right, so that is my usual greeting for Charlotte, who has done a fine job of teaching a little French, the en français. Okay, let me. Oh, there we go. So, one more photo from the other day that you didn't see. And there's this one. I didn't have this one in my stack yesterday, so I'm just sharing this last one with you. Um, Harry out there loving and being loved, and also in the company of a big brass military officer. All right, so let's get into this one then. So, Kate Middleton has been suffering from severe mistreatment, allegedly, by her husband, Prince William. So, I was surprised, but this is actually in one of the online, I guess you can't say publications, news sources, but apparently they think that somebody has been treated badly. And occasionally, there are some of the papers in Europe or online magazines or whatever in Europe that will run some of these stories about different royal family members, and I'm always surprised to see them, even though I may feel that way. I mean, I don't know what proof they have, but interesting that this is coming out right now, especially on the heels of seeing that they are doing a lot of their royal duties apart from each other. Whereas before they were like, a duo, but now they tend to do these events by themselves. And also missing is with some of the criticisms that Kate have been going through lately, they make sure that William's photo is not included. And for instance, when they had the charity, where the charity boss, had committed a crime in his past, there was a photo of William and Kate, but all you could see was William's hand, and Kate left to twist in the wind by herself. So I can't say for certain what this means, but when you put it all together, it's not looking good for Catherine, the Princess of Wales. What's it all about, Kitty? Is it just for the way you feel? What's it all about, Kitty? I don't know. But I guess in time we will see some things. So take a look at this again. One of the squaddies said just the day after reports of William being aggressive toward Kate, allegedly, he instead of appearing with her to silence the rumors, he goes on an engagement with Sophie. What the frappuccino? Like I said, this looks very strange. And then another strange thing about this is, let's face it, the um, the institution is steeped in tradition and somewhat old fashioned. Well, actually, not somewhat, very old fashioned. So, for the future king to be in the company of another woman in the family who is not a blood relative, I just think that that is being a bit risque. Now, I don't want to imply that there's anything to it, but it's the impression of it that I would think would be a concerning to the institution, to the firm. But yet they don't have any regard for what people may say or think. And the fact that, again, where is Kate? There's no reason why the three of them could not have gone. And then, of course, people are concerned about Edward's health. Edward is looking rather scrawny, and I saw a photo from of him the other day, and it did not look good. It did not look good. So I would not even imply that there's any type of issues with the relationship of the Edinburghs, but um, this is not looking good. And then on top of all of that going on, um, oh, you know what? This is, since we're talking about them, let me just, I think this is a little bit out of order, but I don't want to forget this one. So, a royal reporter, a royal reporter told the Express that the royal family are viewed very well in the United States. I think William and Catherine's rate well because they are real and above else, all else that is, show a human side. They show a human side. Wait, is this working? Did y'all hear what I said? They show a human side. Will and Kate show a human side. Catherine has grown into her own. Um, haven't we just talked about Catherine coming into herself? Catherine is keening. Catherine has grown into her own. How many more times are you guys going to try to convince us that this 40 something year old woman has just arrived? When they try to compliment her, it only makes her look bad. You should not be saying that a person who has been around the royal family for 20 years, someone who's been married into the family for what, 11, 12 years, you should not be saying that she's just coming into herself because it makes her look, I'm trying not to say the word, but it just makes it seem like she's lagging behind for some reason that is, and it doesn't look good for her. It doesn't help her out. And so once again, the last time they recycle these things. We just heard that what was it, in October when they were coming over here for Earth Flop, that they were going to take the US by storm. We had months of that. And what happened? You had people in Boston who either didn't know that they were there or they just simply didn't care. So, how is this helping her? It is better to just leave her be and let people come up with their ideas on their own. But everything that the tabloids do is about projecting an image. It's about projecting an image. And to do that, they usually have to tear down someone else, just like they always try to big her up by saying that she's being more like Meghan. Again, that doesn't help her. obviously they forgot about Boston. You don't hear them saying in any way, form, or fashion that Boston was a big hit, that Boston was a real definitive moment for the Cambridges or the Chambridges. You never hear them say that. They don't even discuss Boston. So, anyway, to continue. Let me see. I think William and Catherine rate well. Catherine has grown into her own, really, with the Eurovision piano stunt. He says stint, but I'm saying stunt. The Eurovision piano stunt and relatable chats and charities. And they both use social media in a good, positive way. I think we will see their popularity soar even more. That's to say that it's big in the first place. Their popularity now, the headline: Prince William and Princess Kate to take on America by storm with popularity set to soar. So look at that words rather, set to soar. Let me go back there. They're not there yet. They're just saying that that's about to happen. Well, like Don said, did they forget about Boston? Much to do about nothing. Talk about word salad. The Prince and Princess of Wales have been praised by royal experts, oh God, who believe they could soon become an even bigger draw for the American public. I'm trying to figure out exactly what about them is so interesting that you would have people compelled to be in the same space with them. Now, surely you can find enough royalists in any media market and have some type of group outside of some place. But I'm telling you, they're not going to take any questions from the press. They're going to avoid that like mad. And also, um, I do believe that as time goes by, people that have had a taste of calling them out as being um, colonists, I think in certain places, especially if they try to go any place where there's a lot of people of color, or if there's an expat community from, say, the Caribbean or something like that, they may not be so warmly welcomed if there's the least bit of a, I want to use the term militant, but political type of person around that just doesn't like the royal family. I mean, we've already seen people over there willing to boo William and Kate. You've had that one woman with the sign that they were chasing around like it was Benny Hill or something like that. So, let's not forget the kid that was detained for just holding up the sign. So those are small in number. But the other thing I wanted to mention too, do you guys realize that Kate has not, I think, was it Celibici that said that Kate has not done a royal engagement no further than 15 miles away from her residence? Is she afraid somebody's going to change the locks while she's out? Why is it she cannot go further than 15 miles? Does she have to get back to her coffin before the sun comes up? What is it about this 15 miles? But there's a certain radius in which she does everything, and outside of that, she doesn't go. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they you saw the two of them out without Kitty. Maybe that's why. Oh, let me see. Uh, what? Really? How did that happen? Okay, because I looked, I didn't see anything about that. Okay. Wow, that's interesting. I wonder what happened. Was it Sophie? No, that's not funny. Somebody's been hurt. Was it Sophie? America does not like them because of how they have treated Harry and Meghan, including former American royalists. I know at least 5 people that loved the Queen and can't stand Will and Kate. They're dull. They are dull. And yeah, let's not forget there was the docu-series. There's the book Spare. And if you combine the two of those things, not to mention everything else that has been said, it just doesn't add up. I don't know where this royal reporter thinks a ticker tape parade is going to break out for the likes of them, but it's just not. There's nothing heroic about either one of them. So, no, no, projection. Okay, so the Middleton family business went bust in spectacular fashion. The scandal could affect Kate. So, let us look into that, shall we? And this is from the Toronto Star. This is from the Toronto Star. Um, Everybody's talking about it. Other languages, everybody. I would have thought that this is something that would have been more of a domestic story, but globally, the Middleton brand is suffering and suffering bad too. Tear down the bunting, blow out the candles, and spike the confetti cannons rather. The party is over for Party Pieces, the festive supply company that was founded by the Princess of Wales' mum at the Middleton kitchen table in 1987, and where Kate briefly worked after university. Carol and Michael Middleton, the Shady Bunch, have reportedly sold Party Pieces holdings to entrepreneur James Sinclair of the Party Man Group after they were unable to prevent it from collapsing into administration. Translation, the business went bust and they sold it for parts, basically. So, yeah, there you go. This story just won't go away. Um, and more people are talking about it. So, not looking good. Not looking good for Kate. Kate has become a bit of a liability to the royal family brand, not an asset. And so far, they haven't seemed to have been able to stop the bleeding. And this is a bleeding. They have not stopped the bleeding. Their lives are hemorrhaging with stories of financial woes for the Middleton. And it just doesn't look good for anybody to have someone around in the family, such a public family, that is literally going belly up. Not a good look. Michael Miller says, why? Give back the supposed 14 million pounds that she got from that company to her parents. She doesn't need the money anymore. Are you talking about for the for when they took those photos? Where would she have gotten 14 million pounds? I don't remember her having access to that money for any reason. So I don't know. Let me see here. Barron, maybe hurricane season. They could name the first hurricane Kate and then name the next hurricane William, and then they can take America by storm. That would be only, yeah, that would be the only way. When if those hurricanes make land, then that will be the only way that a Will and Kate will take America by storm. Otherwise, I couldn't think of it. I couldn't think of it. Uh, hey, VS speaks royally. I was listening to you a little bit earlier while in between my errands. Let me see. Congratulations. What happened? What did I miss? Did you have some big milestone today, VS? Anyway, I don't see it here, but congratulations. Elaine Parker, those jewels, they haven't said anything else publicly about that. Although, I don't even know where that story starts, but they did say something about part of the jewelry collection that seems to have gone missing. Yeah, some parts of it have gone missing. I think there was like this one big necklace that cost a lot of money, if I recall, and something else. But um, I say canvass all of the pawn shops around Greater London. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Um, Hmm. This is very interesting. And then, okay, so take a look there on the right side. Mystery as Duchess of Cambridge misses wedding at last minute, but at least Prince William showed up with Pippa. Whose wedding was that? That was in 2015. Whose wedding? She may have been with child at the time. I don't know. But yeah, this is just one of those things that somebody was being shady and threw on the Twitter. Which is pretty much all day, every day lately. She comes into her own. Princess of Wales wasn't always comfortable doing royal engagements, but is now an impressive communicator, Rebecca English tells Palace Confidential. So, again, the 40-something-year-old woman who's been around the family for 20 years and married into the family for what, 12, 13 years, has finally figured, no, she's finally sorted it out. Yeah, she's got it sorted. Now, of course, you guys, as always, you could probably mouth the words as I say it. As you know, here at Royal Sussex, to be fair, we always reach out to Kensington Palace just to make sure that we see if there's anything official that they want to say about uh, topics. And anyway, so Kate said,
obviously, it'd be. I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to. Obviously, on to this day, and going forward and things. It is. It's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So yeah, I do.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was blowing my nose. I'm so sorry. I was blowing my nose and I forgot to put it back. Okay. So, anyway, I found the article. It says here the Princess of Wales has not been seen since she was sent out to provide some counter programming to Prince Harry's 2 day testimony in London court last week. Kate stepped out on consecutive days to perform these half assed skits as hastily thrown together events like Kate wants to meet low income moms in Windsor and something about mental health, early years, and rugby. Kate also hasn't been seen since the extent and breadth of her mother's financial catastrophe was revealed last week. Maybe that is Kate is in hiding. Kate was told to simmer down and stay quiet. So yeah, that is the theory that they have over at Celibacy is that Kate has been told to lay low while people look into your mom's finances. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Let me see, whatever happened, it looks like Kate wasn't invited to last night's screening. Instead, William brought along a blonde date, the Duchess of Edinburgh, his aunt, they attended the Royal Foundation screening of Rhino Man, a documentary about the wildlife rangers in South Africa. And the documentary is also about Anton Menzimba, a ranger who was murdered by a wildlife trafficker. You can read more about the screening here. The screening was either co hosted by United for Wildlife or the screening profited from the NGO in some way. So, yeah, um, she did not go to that. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's why she wasn't there. They had this obligation, and she was likely to attend, and instead they brought the Duchess of Edinburgh. Maybe that's it. Now, William could have easily have gone by himself. It wouldn't have been the first time, but for whatever reason, he decided to take the royal secret weapon. Because as you guys know, uh, Kate, you in danger, girl. Yeah, like I said, she's a liability. She is no longer helpful to the institution. She's no longer the secret weapon. Um, Ford Fiesta has actually, what is that? She's been upgraded to a Ford Escape. So Ford Escape is now the royal secret weapon. Um, Not Kate anymore. Kate is no good for the institution. Yeah, and you know what? If ever, however, and if ever the Middletons recover from this, you know, there's always going to be some question as to exactly how did they get out of the mess that they were in. Susie Mom, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. When he glances at his watch and it isn't late, you try to amuse him and he doesn't concentrate. Does he have to draw you a picture? Does he have to spell it out loud? Face it, girl, it's over. That's the Nancy Wilson song. It's over. Uh, the first time I heard about that song, I didn't believe it was a real thing. I'm like, come on, you making it up. Nobody made a song like that. Oh, and also, I'm sorry, I do not have an update on that missing cat. The apparently Wellses, the Wellses, I got to get used to saying that. They had a cat that came up missing. A cry for help for our fluffy friend. Fluffy, that's the name of the cat, last seen at Adelaide Cottage back on the 10th of June. It's an orange tabby. It's a male, neutered, has a spinal condition or a nervous tic. Yeah, has a spinal condition or a nervous tic. Um, has a spinal condition or a nervous tic. Fluffy escaped out of an open door and isn't used to being outside. He is likely scared, finds the color green agitating. I wonder what happened in this cat's life that has made it so jumpy anytime it sees green. I mean, is there anything that you could think of that would have caused this cat to have some like adverse reaction anytime they see green? I don't know. But yeah, so please do not chase. Call or text with any information 123-456-7890. That's 123-456-7890. So that they could get that cat back home and to a chiropractor as soon as possible, because this cat obviously is special. Oh man. Okay. So let me wind this up. As you can see, with the economy booming and to help increase sales among small businesses, from time to time, the president and the vice president will go out and do some shopping and such, or bring lunch back to the Oval Office or to the West Wing or whatever. And then if you take a look on the right side, someone gave Hillary Clinton a t-shirt, totally impartial potential juror. So I don't know if the federal courts are listening. I just want you all to know that in terms of jury selection, there is at least one person that I know of that is totally impartial and a potential juror, if I've ever seen one. And that is Madam Secretary of State, Hillary Rodham Clinton, Senator, Secretary of State, and also former First Lady, and a fine lawyer if I've ever seen one. So there you go. Just in case anyone from the Justice Department is watching. What's that, Baron? Hillary got the T-shirt and Pod Save America. It was. Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see it. I saw. I saw her sitting with someone, and I guessed he had handed it to her or something. So I'm gonna have to go back and look for that. Then thank you for letting me know that. And of course, again, it's Flag Day, and who's better to stand by or hold or wave the American flag than one of our newest citizens, soon likely to be citizens or possible dual citizen. Who knows? We don't know his status, and we're not going to get in his business. And then, of course, when they asked the former Speaker of the House how she felt about Trump's indictment, well, this was her response. She was unable to speak. This was her response. So there you go. And take a guess which one of these is a pig and which one of these is a former president. Again, which is the pig and which is a president? Not to be confused with the pig. It's kind of hard. I'm not sure. One looks just as frightful as the other. I'm going to go with the bottom one is the pig. Yes, I'm going to say the bottom one is. Oh, they're both pigs? Okay. Okay. You're probably right. So that's a trick question. Mystic Toxin says the bottom one is the pig. Okay. So for sure, the bottom one and maybe the top one too. Got it. Now, during the 2016 election, as you know, I was doing battle on social media. And so I took some liberties with one of the um, candidates for president. And since he thought Hillary Clinton was, such a nasty woman, I was said, yeah, but you're such a nasty man. So I did that myself. And then the one on the right, believe it or not, nobody has touched that up. Nobody has altered that. That is his image, flat top and all. And I found this and I thought it would be kind of fun to share it with you. PSP, form of frontotemporal dementia. And they say that the signs are stiffness and awkwardness in gait, poor judgment, loss of empathy, socially inappropriate behavior, lack of inhibitions, repetitive, compulsive behavior. Let me see, inability to concentrate or plan, frequent abrupt mood changes, speech difficulties, problems with balance or movement, memory loss. Well, I mean, too bad for anyone who is suffering from that. But remember, he's the one who keeps saying that there's something wrong with um, Joe Biden. And of course, at the time, there were people who started making fun of him, like the lady there on the left side. I recall there was like a little bit of a game to see how much you could stand like Trump without falling over, right? And if you take a look here, that is, you can see Trump patiently waiting for Sarah Huckabee Sanders, or as I like to say, Jethreen Bodine. He's waiting for Jethreen Bodine to finish her speech. And as she speaks, of course, he leans further and further into the podium. And then, of course, this guy here on the left side, I think he's doing a pretty good job of it. Now, I'm going to tell you the reason why a lot of people say that he actually is doing this. They said that Donald Trump wears lifts, that he's not actually as tall as he pretends to be, or he likes to try to be the tallest person in the room. So you have a 6'1", maybe 6'2", Scooby snack of a prime minister, Justin Trudeau. And as you can see, Trump is almost on his tippy toes to try to make sure that he comes across as the taller of the pair, almost to the point where he's about to fall over on him. And of course, during the pandemic, this was my nickname for him. I saw this sculpture that they made of him. I don't know if it's actually real. I don't think it is. But I began to refer to him as the leaning tower of the pandemic because of how many people he probably allegedly infected with the pandemic. So I referred to him as the leaning tower of that. And of course, this is Lydia's favorite, the Yeti. The Yeti. They say that if the Yeti can see his shadow, we have 6 more weeks of winter. That was another one I made up during the presidential campaign. I was just like, I'm not even going to show you guys the worst of them because I don't want you to know that I talk like that. But these are just some of the ones that I'm comfortable sharing. And of course, from one Yeti to another, is something about these self-important, over-bloated, older white men that seem to play the victim card while saying you're playing the victim. They're the ones who are saying the world is against them because, well, anyway, you know why. Now, there it is. That's Lydia's favorite right there. Thomas Markle, I have dubbed him a Yeti. It's something about that awkward turn of the knee and ankle stepping off that curb that reminded me of that photo of what was reported to be a Yeti. So, for that reason, I have declared him a Yeti. So, Yetis don't just live in cold climates. Apparently, there are Yetis that live down in Mexico, at least one Yeti that has been seen frequently on the high street, stepping out with Kentucky Fried Chicken, cases of beer, and otherwise. So there you go. That is the other Yeti. And with that, you guys, I am done. And remember, you guys, if you see this orange tabby, please contact that number because they want their cat back. Yeah, there is a cat on the loose. And with that, you guys, I will be looking for, oh, thank you. I will be looking for the last comment. Let me go back to that photo of Harry. Was this it? Yeah, I'll leave it there. Thank you, Brenda Lawler. Thank you, Cheryl Bennett. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah, you might be a little behind us then, right? You might be a little behind the rest of us. Maybe you joined a little later. Okay. All right, so let me see. Where are our queens? There we go. All right. And of course, always to honor our queens, our queen of everything and our queen of hearts. Okay. Yeah. You know, I'm pretty sure that when Thomas Markle was younger, I'm pretty sure he had a little charm that people found disarming. But I think once you get to know him, then you abandon any thoughts of him being like everybody else. So it is kind of a too bad that. But anyway, I guess the other part of it is Meghan born out of that union, right? So, like they say, you got to take the bitter with the sweet. So it's not ideal, but there you go. All right, so Cookies and Cream has the last word. Everyone, please stay safe. Pray, don't beg, and hydrate. Thank you so much for that. And that will be our last word for today. Sorry for the late hour. Hopefully we can get on earlier tomorrow. Thank you everyone for your contributions. Also, thank you moderators for keeping this a safe space as per usual. Okay, no list today. All right, very good. Okay, thank you. Oh, you know what? I'm going to close with the video I made yesterday. I don't think that many people watched it, so I'm assuming not that many people saw it. So I am going to close with the video I made yesterday. It's a short video, about 6 minutes long. Well, yeah, 6 minutes long. I'm going to close with that. And I love you guys. I will see you all tomorrow. 6-minute vid.
Prince Harry's Spare opens discussion on family trauma. The memoir echoes these 5 common themes of unhealthy family dynamics. "The princess is dead," my elementary school teacher exclaimed to another teacher as we students filed in. In my young innocence, I remember thinking, which one? A fan of Disney movies, I emulated the Disney princesses Ariel and Jasmine for their inner strength and voices that shattered social and gender norms. I never seemed to connect with princesses like Cinderella, ones who never rocked the boat. Clearly, there was some foreshadowing there. I was devastated to think that one of them could have died. How? I thought as I sank onto the rug for the kindergarten morning meeting. All day, I remember sitting and thinking, coloring and cutting, confused about how the princess could have died, and which one. I remember coming home and telling my mom that one of the princesses died, causing her to chuckle through her tears. It was that day in 1997 that I learned about the royal family and how they were real people, not the Disney characters I sang along with on our staticky television. I would learn much more in the coming years, as their stories would be on the cover of every news outlet and the front page of every newspaper and magazine. I remember seeing the 2 princes, both similar to my own age, and wondering how it was that they were a prince, and what did that mean for the animated images of princesses and princes that I had in my young mind. How amazing their life must be, I would think in my young naivete, to be able to live a life of royalty. All that changed after learning about Harry's life this year in his published autobiographical memoir, Spare. As I read, I learned that he considered himself a fellow black sheep, a spare, as he put it. I heard myself in his words, listening to someone who always felt disconnected from his family, much of this due to his feeling less important than his older sibling. In a moment of flashback, while reading, I remembered being a young child opening presents on Christmas morning. My brother had received a gift with our family's last name etched beautifully into the hand-carved wood. Even though I had no use for this hand-carved wood, I immediately felt different somehow. After asking my dad why I did not receive the same gift, I was met with a response that would forever solidify my spot in the family as being less important. "Because he will carry on the family name," he said with annoyance as if it were obvious. Immediately I knew I was somehow less important because I was a girl, less powerful, unable to carry on our family's last name, which apparently was an important thing. I felt many feelings that I was unable to articulate, not having the words, the understanding, to know yet what it means to be second. Now, of course, I am nothing like the royal family. My experience of gender bias is not the same as the stories that fill Harry's memoir. But that feeling of being second best, of being the spare, resonates with so many of us who grew up in families where importance and preference was given to those who were considered more important. Among my clients, many of whom are survivors of families that engaged in dysfunctional patterns, many can resonate with the patterns described in Spare. Here are 5 common themes that this book shows us about family dynamics. 1. Dysfunctional family dynamics do not discriminate among socioeconomic status. Whether or not someone is affluent or lower socioeconomic status does not matter. We have a stereotype in our society that only lower-income families are dysfunctional. In reality, I see just as many, if not more, unhealthy patterns coming from families with the money and power to hide them. 2. If you speak out, others will question your account of things. The one who speaks out about the family dynamics is usually met with a lot of resistance from other family members who act in ways that deny the survivor's reality or even gaslight them into thinking they are overreacting. 3. The family will be given the benefit of the doubt. There is power in numbers, but often that power comes from those who do not want to speak out against those who have control. When someone comes forward and shares their story, they are often met with resistance from people inside and outside of the family. 4. The one who speaks out is thought to be dishonoring the family. The one who speaks out about their story is blamed because, how dare you speak out against them after all they did for you? Instead of looking at the actions of those who did the damage, Society blames survivors for speaking out and dishonoring the family. 5. The black sheep is usually the scapegoat. Although not always, the black sheep is frequently seen as a scapegoat, the one blamed for the family's problems. If only little Johnny didn't have a substance abuse problem. Our problems started when Jamie started acting out in school. Although frequently the target of the family's dysfunction, the scapegoat is usually the most honest about the family's history.
That's it for now. Please like, subscribe, share, donate, etc. If you would like to make a donation and you don't know how, to help support this channel, you can go to the comments section where you can find links to the Patreon, the PayPal, and the Cash App. Thanks for watching Royal Sussex.